Hello. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your journey through the exhibitions. It's quite confusing and a lot to see. I hand over now to my dearest colleague Celina Basra, who's also part of the Talking Objects team, and she will host the session, the Talking to Objects session.
Yeah, I'm really happy to host this session today because I've seen Talking to Objects in different iterations and worked within the team of Talking Objects Lab, but hosting one of these sessions always looked like one of the most fun things to do, so I'm happy I get to do it. Talking to Objects happened in Dakar for the first time, outside, not inside the museum space, in the garden, right? And then it happened at Museum Angewandte Kunst in Frankfurt am Main. And what it is basically an exercise in collective storytelling, where whoever participates, as best as you can, needs to forget what they know or things they know. It's a game, in a way. And I'm here today because of that, not in my role or capacity as an art historian, which I also am, but more of, because I also write, I'm an author, storytelling, or maybe also facilitating rooms and spaces where people tell stories together, basically like a writing workshop. So just a little example to get us started from my own practice. When I wrote my first novel, I encountered a necklace in my research that is divided between India and Pakistan, because it was a necklace from Mohenjo-Daro that was divided when the country was divided during partition. And so the necklace was split in two and threaded anew, and one part is in Delhi, that's the part I saw, and the other is in Pakistan. And so to imagine what the necklace must feel like, and the memories of the necklace, I tried to just give myself the writing prompt to write from the perspective of the necklace. And that helped a lot, and it became part of the text. So this is just one example. Looking at the blank spaces and filling them not with knowledge or research, just looking at what we can say right now on this it's not a blank space. We know we're in a museum, but we're not surrounded by context. The other displays are empty. We have this one here that we'll unveil in a minute. And the objects inside are seemingly randomly assembled by the museum, not by us. We haven't chosen them randomly, but they somehow raised our interest. But there's no rhyme or reason or system to it, really. So if we open this, I think a good idea is to ask questions. And whenever you think you want to go back to what you know, or your practice and your research, and facts you might recognize and name, to rather think about what you don't know and ask the question. Look at what the object might ask you and what you want to ask the object. And so this is what Talking Objects Lab has been and is about still, the practice of looking at what memories are stored in objects, of the bodies who touched them and made them, of the context and the constellations of knowledge that are hidden to us, and our assumptions of the way we think they were used, to forget about them and to start anew with a blank space. So now we'll hear from the Kunstgewerbemuseum as well.
I just wanted to address a very warm welcome to you all. I'm so glad that you're here today and that we can give you the space for the discussion and for this excellent idea, talking to objects. When we were asked if we would offer the space, we immediately said yes. It's a great idea, and I think it's so precious to have the different perspectives on our objects. We are very narrow-minded at certain points, experts in our museums that have a certain kind of approach, and to widen that and to open the space for discussion and different perspectives is extremely precious to us, and so I would like to thank you very much for coming, and I hope you have a great day here and that you feel comfortable. And my name is Sibylle Heumann. I'm the director of this house. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. And I think the best thing would be, I know we are a lot of people, and you've been probably standing and walking a lot, but to just get up and walk around once. I think it's important that everyone has seen the map close in the beginning. So if we can do it like Justin, take some time to just wander and look. And as you are walking around and looking at the objects from all sides, one by one, maybe some first questions arise. Is the object soft or hard? How is it presented? Is it hanging, standing? Can it stand? Could you carry it? Is it heavy or light? Does it refer in any way to a room or a body? Does it need to be worn? Does it need to be activated in order to function? What can you do with the object? Maybe there's someone who wants to get started and just ask a question.
Okay, so I thought about questions, as you mentioned, that the objects might ask.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first question would be, how did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. How did I get here? How did I get here? Anybody else had the same question?
They were certainly, I mean, I don't know, but most objects, most things have not been made to be put in a museum.
Yes.
So they've been made for something else, and then they ended up in a museum. So how did I get here seems logical to me.
There's a second one.
It's not a question. Mine is not a question. But looking at the globe, the small globe, at the base you can see a reflection. But when you come to the top, you see nothing. That's my observation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Based on that animal with a crown on it, just thinking, just wondering if it has any symbolic meaning, like powerful, something like that. Not so sure, but I just want to know it more.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
By adding up to what Abir said, I would ask, where was the last place I was before ending up here?
I think I maybe recognized one, but not from my own experience at the museum, but just by traveling. And I was wondering if it was the same thing I thought it was or not. So I was wondering, like, the question that came up was, where did I came from, and am I a universal symbol maybe? And I was talking about the one, the fist with the little finger up. So I was, yeah, it was what came up to me.
And what was the symbol saying to you when you think you recognized it?
I saw it in Brazil when I was in Salvador de Bahia, and it was for peace and for, I think, good luck. So yeah, I was really wondering, because when I saw it, it was not in white. It was like always like in a darker color. And it was the first time that I saw it in this color. So I was wondering, is it something, you know, that's universal and that you can see in other parts of the world, or is this the Brazilian one?
And that's very good. Let's stay with the fist for a moment, because I think it might speak to a lot of people and might have the same or different meaning. You wanted to add to that?
I have one at home as a necklace.
And where is it from, or where did you get it?
Well,
Where?
my grandmother gave it to me.
Oh, and where?
And it's a lucky kind of, I think.
So also for good luck.
Yeah.
Also for. And where did your grandmother make it or get it, or?
I don't know.
Okay.
She's already dead, you know.
Okay. That's lovely. Anybody else? If we stay with the fist. Oh, there's someone over here. Yeah.
Thank you. The fist for me is very political.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sign of the ruling party that has ruled for 40 years in my country. So it's quite oppressive, and it's something that I'm scared of. We never do this. We never do this. You have to you know. So.
Okay. Okay. Connecting to that. Anybody else on the fist? Yeah. Okay. There's someone over there.
In my country, in Ukraine, as well as I guess in Russia, it is the very negative symbol. When you refuse to give something to somebody, you kind of telling this by words or showing the figure. It calls figure, and it means you will get nothing. And also, at the other side, it's the sign of protection from evil spirits and from bad eyes.
At the same time, I
Yeah,
find it
at the
interesting
same
how
time,
many
paradoxically,
yeah, how many meanings this can hold, because a fist always first would speak to me too, and when we went through the collection and selected, it was like that too. And yeah, to then maybe discover that there are very different meanings attached to it, and that it can help both. Because I also ask myself this question: is it to protect or to attack? I ask myself that question with a few objects sometimes, because just from based on vibes, you can ask that question on sort of the charisma of an object or what it seems to you, but then there's actual meaning. Anything more connected to the fist, or what the fist then does in relation to the others as well in the display?
As a basic level, I'm intrigued by the material of the maybe a kind of bracelet. I don't know if it's a bracelet, and the material is difficult to define. Is the color is painting on something or not? So it's a very basic level. But well, the material is important too, to help to define where does it come from, or things like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Who wants to connect to that?
I just want to ask a very simple question, because for me they are very different objects with different purpose and materiality, and I just want to understand what they are collected in one form of presentation like this.
Why are they together at all? Yeah.
So thank you. So I have a question. For me, when I see objects in the glass, my question is, we protect this object or we destroy this object? What was the function of this object before? That is my question.
Yes.
And I don't have an answer, and I want to get an answer. Yeah.
Yeah, just connecting to this. So for me, basic experience to objects, to touch them and to feel the surface. And yeah, my question is here, how is your surface and how I feel the connection between my body and the object.
And how to feel it through glass or imagine it. Because then you have to imagine it. That's the only way. Could you imagine it? Yes? And how did it feel? Was there a feeling?
Yeah, like cold, and like the one in the middle, I feel cold. But the red one, it's maybe like more detailed. Yeah.
When I see the orb, I think a lot about reflections and mirrors. So I guess in some ways, I think I'm thinking of this poem by Fernando Pessoa, and he's asking who am I and what is the space between myself and myself. And he also asked, whose performance am I watching? And I think that's the question that maybe these objects are asking, between the space between the glass that they're enclosed in, but also the orb being able to reflect all of them both back and forth.
That's a very good reference. The space in between, in which then stories can emerge, or which can just create a distance. So that's a question, how you use that space.
I think I'm kind of torn between asking what is the object telling me itself now, and kind of what was the intention of the maker, what stories did they want to inscribe on these objects. So I'm trying to think which is the most kind of the best way to approach each of those questions.
Mm-hmm. When you stay with the first question, did anything come to mind?
Well, going back to the fist, which seems to have so many different resonances, for me it's a symbol of resistance and emancipation for people that maybe are different to me. But then with this kind of, I don't know what it is, but the story, what was the maker's intention when inscribing that vision on there? But then what story is it telling me now?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the dissonance between those things?
I think that's a question. And I think the best way to start is to stay with the first one, stay as close as when we are here now, look at the objects and ask them what they're telling. Because then asking what the maker's intention was is always the next step. But somehow we get there in the path of trying to tell the story.
Well, mine is on the one in the middle. Mm-hmm. When I look at it, and if I put myself there, I would ask, what am I? Because I seem to have what looks like hands, but it's actually the feet. Mm-hmm. And the hind legs, I really can't make it out. Seems to have the head of a human with a crown, and I probably look like a horse, yet I have wings. But still I'm caged, I can't fly, because wings are supposed to indicate freedom, the power to fly, which is very powerful. But yet here am I sitting in a glass box all this while, and I can't fly, and I can't really pinpoint what I am, because I seem to have varying features all embodied in one. Yeah, that's the question I will ask.
Very good. I think there's someone that, yeah.
For me, I guess it's related to someone else's question. I think the objects are asking me, why am I caged? Why am I here? Why are you watching me? Am I performing? What can I do for you? Things like that.
What can I do for you? That's very good. And why am I performing? Why does a display always imply the performance?
That's true.
Maybe each object there can ask, who are my neighbors?
Who are my neighbors? Yeah. Are they talking to each other? Like, what do you think? By neighbors, you mean the other objects?
Do they talk to each other?
Maybe not. I'm just asking.
I think like culture is universal, and there's always some common things between belongings. So I think they still have something to talk to each other, even being from different cultural contexts, different cultures.
I think if I was able to have a conversation with the objects, and I was supposedly was just introducing myself and trying to find out about the object on a basic level, I suppose I would start by asking, what is your name? And perhaps if it was polite, how old are you? It might help us get somewhere.
Only if it was polite, though, yeah. Very good way to start.
I'm thinking a little bit about the chalice, the object on the that's closest to me now. Mm-hmm. We didn't talk about it yet, and I'm just thinking probably if it's right, I'm thinking about these objects used in churches during the ceremonies, during the masses, and these objects are for the wine that is turned to blood, to the blood of Jesus. during the Mass. And now when I'm looking at this object, I see it's empty. Probably there is no wine or blood in it. And I just think it's very useless. It doesn't have this purpose anymore. It's just here to represent probably some kind of idea of aesthetic beauty, but I just don't know. Like, yeah, if this usefulness, what does it mean anymore? Yeah.
I had also kind of like to the same object the question actually, if there is something inside, so just kind of like what is kind of like hiding inside, and when I looked at it, I immediately kind of got this kind of, okay, there's some iconography I may understand, and I kind of like then decided not to go into this, not to frame it in a way like this, but kind of like this question of something to hide something inside was then the first thing which emerged.
Thank you. I mean, that's a very good question. If you're made to contain a vessel to carry, and then there is no substance or treasure or whatever inside, what am I then? What are you? The question you raised. I think that's a very good one. And good thing you decided not to go into your knowledge, and well done, because it's very hard sometimes. What would they say to each other? And whether there is a common denominator, whether they would find a common language. Could it be over functions, what they do, what they contain or not? Is there anything? If we want to draw lines of relation.
They were all man-made, so somebody designed them, and somebody possibly could be the same person or another person who actually made them, or could be a group of people, each had done part of it. So I think the common theme would be that they are man-made. Some of them heat was involved regarding the extreme heat regarding the bronze and the glass and the metal, of course. But certainly human skill was involved.
Yeah, I think building on that idea of human skill and how time intensive it is to create detailed crafts like this, they all kind of speak to a degree of power, perhaps in the sense of maybe cultural capital or religious or civic function, but like a lot of time has obviously been invested in creating them.
That's very good. The question of power. So who wants to continue on that thought? Or
maybe already someone asked, but I was wondering if the material comes from the same place where the object was made, or if the material was extracted somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Do they like each other? No. Why?
Because they're all lined up, so they can't actually talk to each other.
That's very good. Because in order to talk to each other, I mean, it's very interesting thinking about, for example, how can you allow objects or people or entities to talk to each other? And that sometimes in designing cities, sometimes benches are so far apart that people can't talk, so they shouldn't linger, hang out. And it's something that I once talked about with an artist who worked on that. And really, how can objects talk to each other? And really, they can't talk to each other when they're lined up. It really feels like a performance then. And that is, I think someone has said this repeatedly, or different people have said this.
They didn't choose to be there, you put them there.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah, we chose the objects together with someone from the team from the museum, and then the Kunstgewerbemuseum put them into the display, which still says Welfenschatz. I really like the space somehow. It feels like it's a backstage sort of feel, where things are stored, assembled. There is sort of a model, like there in the back, some half things of displays, former displays, old displays. The labyrinthine structure, we don't know whether stairs are leading. So yeah, it has something where you think it's performative, but then the museum placed them there.
So they're here just for a short period of time, like this.
Just for you, just for us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just assuming if they were supposed to be in a collection for an exhibition for a longer period of time, and they are all in one space, just like humans, you would certainly put someone in charge. So then I wonder, who's going to be in charge?
Who's going to be in charge? That's a very good question. Who do you think is going to be in charge?
Well, I look at this guy with a crown, and obviously, he's probably going to be in charge.
Easy.
And do they get along well when they have issues? And this one in the morning says, "Hey," when they turn on the museum light, it's like, "Hey, good morning." It's like, "No, I'm not nice with you today." So then because I assume it's going to be a society. They are locked up in a society, and how well do they get along? Do they have issues?
Absolutely.
This one's going to say, "You're blocking my view. I'm the best guy here. Everyone needs to look at me." And assuming someone comes in and is spending so much time here, said, "Hey, look, come and have a look at me." Or something. I'm just wondering if such a thing could be going on.
It's a very good question. So the question is then, who do you think would be the biggest problem? Like if that guy, you say, is taking charge, who'd be like, yes, who's the troublemaker?
The troublemaker. I don't know, probably the orb, the shiny stuff.
This one?
Because he's going to be like, well, I'm the shiny guy, I'm the best looking guy around. And so he probably wants all the attention. And the little guy here will probably be like, I'm also good. And he's going, no, you don't look, there's nothing attractive about you.
What would the shiny guy do? What would be the first action to sort of counteract that power?
Well, he's probably trying to glow the most, trying to give up his best, because when the lights fall on him or her, probably he's all going to be all glowing and glittering. We say when things glitter, they attract.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how would the others react? Would they react? Would they stay back?
Maybe when they're in a good mood. They're just going to play along, because no matter what you do, you are still stuck in there together. Yeah.
So no sense in that. Any opinions on that from the group? Yeah, there's an opinion.
I would actually say that perhaps and also because maybe I think that the monarchy is a scam, that's why I'm saying this. But I think maybe the person that would be the most problematic would actually be the one with the crown. And I'd say that the one that is most reflective would be the orb, because it's forcing maybe each one of the objects to look within themselves, because it's circular.
So someone who, would you say the orb is an empath, or?
I'd say that maybe the orb is an empath, and also maybe the orb is, since it's suspended, maybe it also has the effect of being a type of anchor.
Who could see everyone, who could see maybe everyone's view. So not the troublemaker. We have an antagonistic view here.
Oh, actually, no, I don't think that being reflective doesn't mean that you're not a troublemaker. I think that if you're forcing something to confront itself, then you're disrupting.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe the disruption in that sense is a good thing.
Okay. Someone else. Yes, good. We like the counter views. Yeah.
I think the orb is transparent.
Transparent?
Yeah.
And what does it imply? What does it?
I think there is nothing to hide, while the others have things to hide.
They have things to hide.
Yeah. So I mean, the chalice has, we don't know what's inside. It could be something, and the figure which is actually something. It's a light source. Would contain oil or something. So there is a space to contain stuff, while the orb is transparent. So transparency.
Okay. Staying with that. What does the chalice hide? Does the chalice hide?
Yeah.
It's another question, but was it the same person who prepared me for being here today? So was it one person who prepared all the 5 objects and cared for me, maybe, or maybe not? And so is maybe also the person who kind of like arranged it here, kind of like someone who kind of like is a connecting point for all the stories we heard.
What do you think? There's a view on there.
As for me, all these elements are complementary. The first one symbolizes the earth, the second one, the sky, the third, the spirit, the fifth, the alliance, and all in the hand of the human being.
Wow. So that is a beautiful way to describe the way these relate to each other, and a positive way to see it. Is it? It's a good way. Very interesting. Can we repeat it again? The earth, the sky.
Yes.
The spirit.
The spirit.
The alliance.
The alliance.
So, other ways to say it, a sort of community.
The connection.
Connection.
Exactly.
Working together. And the last one?
The last one, all belong in the hand of the human being.
Ah.
The white.
Ah, okay. We actually have to think about this further. Contradictions or?
Maybe they're all a little bit like us and they applied to be there.
I was actually thinking that this reminds me of a workshop situation. I mean, when I once went to a curatorial residency and we had to line up for the picture, and it was a very challenging, sort of intensive experience. But people thrown together, objects thrown together. So yeah, workshop situation. Presentation workshop situation. Yeah, I mean, every time you meet a person, which can be in a workshop, a job interview, a date, we are asking questions. Who are you? What are you about? What could you be to me? What outlook do you give me? What outlook do we have together? What imaginaries? And that comes into play especially, you know, when you're meeting someone or when you fall in love. What outlook into the future? What imaginations of the future? And what memories do you carry from the past? What wounds? Or what strengths? The ability to protect, to nourish. So we talked about who they might be in their roles in this group. The one who would take over the power, the troublemaker, or maybe a reflector, an empath.
Building on what Koku said of the meanings maybe that these artifact objects have, if I were one of them, I would wonder, what is the bigger contextual narrative that I belong, like how I'm being used, which narrative to support?
Okay. Any direct thought on this question?
Yeah, I guess in a similar vein, I'm wondering what they demand of the viewer, because I guess in their original context they would be cues for a certain kind of feeling or response that probably the person interacting them would know they were meant to kind of elicit. So I'm kind of wondering how we uncover the traces of those significations.
Absolutely. They imply a call for action or a way to treat them, to store them, to hold them, to include them in a context, in a ritual. Same with someone gives me a mic, I hopefully switch it on and then know how to use it. Some objects we know, with some it's a lot more opaque than this. So which object, let's say the glass was removed, would you most likely, given you are allowed and the rules don't exist, pick up and like to use, like to touch, like to, feel, be closer to? Which would be the first?
Definitely the red one,
Mm.
because I want to touch it and to smell it.
Mhm.
I don't recognize the material. I'm not able to recognize the material from that. Maybe it's la mousse. Okay. Someone could translate for French people. La mousse on the trees. There is
yes.
moth. The
Moth,
moth.
yes.
Maybe it's the moth or lichen, or maybe it's something from the sea.
Yes.
If I smell, maybe I could smell the sea. Well,
Yes,
so
yeah,
I need to
yeah.
touch if it's soft, if it's strong, and if the color is real
Mhm.
color of the material, if it's natural, or if someone put something. It is, well, there is the question of the time. It's not items from the same moment. I guess they are not made at the same period. So maybe this one is closer than us in the time scale. So I'm not sure. Well,
Would you like to wear it?
I don't know.
She needs to get up and look closer.
Yeah, maybe, but it doesn't look very soft. It's look
Like it's scratching your skin.
Yes, I
Like
don't
it's not.
when I prefer when it's soft and move freely on me.
It's very good. Any other responses to the which one would you like to touch first?
For me, when I first saw them, I thought they addresses different feelings. Like the first one from the right, I saw some scenes from daily life, like they having fun. The one in middle, it's about power and for the crown and horse, and this one for the beauty and for to take attention. Yeah, like that different feelings from them. Yeah, there is a connection between them.
Yes. Thank you.
For me, I would like to touch the, I don't know if it's a cup or,
Mhm.
yeah, because from afar, I can't really tell if it's wood.
Mhm.
The one inside, sitting in the gold plated stuff. And so I'm wondering whether it's a wood with some carvings, etchings on it. And I would like to feel the etchings, the engravings on it, and see how it feels like. Yeah.
To identify the material and to
Yes.
see how it feels, how the
because just
carvings
looking
are.
at it looks like it's made of wood, but probably not. Maybe some metal or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The very first association for me, like the first two objects, like it's a phallic symbol. It's for me, it's masculinity
Mhm.
and patriarchy. Like the round one, the transparent one is more female power,
Mhm.
femininity, and the one in the middle, something hybrid. Like also the crown is also something round, but it's for me, it's like something hybrid,
Mhm.
like
In between,
symbolically.
or uniting different kinds of powers or energies.
So for me, I can connect the Fed object to my country. When I saw it at the first time, I thought it was a very big cock. So in my society, a cock, it is a symbol of a husband's power.
Mhm.
So when it is the image, it is the overall image of how we believe a man has power over a woman in our society due to different circumstances. For example, in our traditional, I can say, we can't have more than one cock among the hens. And when it is about to sing, when it does like this, all the hens come around ready to clap after he finishes to sing, if I can say so. So there is now a battle, a social, political, cultural battle between what we call feminists. So who are saying no, a man and the husband must be equal. So for me, if I would like not to touch, not, but if I had to bring this object to my country, I think I will put end on the discussion. I say, you see, there is somewhere in the world where a hen with a front, a cock, sorry. So which it means even God is approving that a man has power over women. So no. I'm sorry for women here, but it is in my context, in my culture. That is how things are done. Thank you.
It's very interesting to then see in the end, because we will read out the text the museum provides for the objects. And you'll be that would be very interesting for you to see then what it is. But thank you for the contribution, because all of these associations are have a space here, and we can continue to spin from here. Like, which of the objects we see here would be most likely to dance first on a dance floor?
I would say the spheric one, the one that is hanging.
Okay, why?
It's easier for it to move. I mean, it's more sensitive to difference. Yeah.
So we'll just start swinging like this.
You know, vibing
just, you know,
to
by
the
picking
music,
up the vibration and then. Okay. Any other opinions?
I think it depends on the music.
Okay. What music would it have to be for the respective object to dance? Let's pick one. Let's imagine a music. Do you want to give one example?
Not really, because
no.
Because when I see these objects, I feel like, and the discussion that we are having now, I feel like we are somehow enforcing a story that does not really resonate with what they really are.
Okay.
And I see a lot of differences in between these these objects in terms of materiality, in terms of how they are positioned and how they are oriented, and then how they are. I mean, I feel like that glass crystal kind of thing is the most unstable one, where the other seems stable. Some of them even reflect a political idea. So speaking from the Ethiopian point of view, we have this as a very popular insignia of the communist regime back in 1980s. So, and then the other might seem this might seem a kind of royal or imperial power, whereas the last one, which is red, looks like something royal, and then treasury. So I mean, I see a lot of differences, and then I think from a curatorial point of view, I mean, it feels like they are presented in one glass, but it feels like someone wants to show the difference rather than the unity they behold there.
I think music is universal. So any music, they will all dance together.
Okay. Now's the time for anybody who wants to share anything still to voice it. We've all been looking at them for quite some time now.
Just been thinking that we talk about objects in a very human way. Like, we expect them to talk, to form families, or to argue like we do. But since we are not objects, we have no idea maybe what their thoughts might be. And it is this, that we mirror, our behaviors, our needs on them.
We project, in a way.
Yes.
And try to think of them as kin so we understand them better. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, in the end, these kind of games or playful approaches are meant to maybe put yourself in their shoes, or does any of them wear shoes? No. But to try to gather a different kind of knowledge by playing this game than you would when you were to regard it and describe it as you've learned as a museum professional, and then research, request the Datenblatt, and go to a library and research. And how these prompts they give us can sometimes tell us something about the function or the stories, or even something that is not written anywhere. So, and that's a beautiful thing about it, but it's true, of course, we are adopting a human sort of view to encounter them in a way which maybe might bring them closer to us than they were otherwise, especially if they're behind glass in a display. But I think to close, I will read the information we have about the objects. Does anybody still want to say something before I do that? Anybody has something like a thought you've been forming all this time you want to share? Yeah, okay.
I feel uncomfortable because there is no labels.
Yes.
In my culture, maybe culture of Western culture, we need to have information, and I feel uncomfortable because I'm not able to recognize everything. And so I guess, what is it? What is it? Where does it come from? There is no thing to help me.
Yes, to hold on to.
And well, there is maybe what's inside me, but I'm not trust myself. I
That's
need
a point,
something
yes.
to help me.
Yes, that's a very important point. Anybody who directly wants to add that to that, or has the same feeling?
I think there's a responsibility because they don't belong to us. So, although we can project or let the object speak to us as if they have agency, there's still a history that doesn't belong to us.
Yes.
So there's that kind of tension there.
The tension, a responsibility, something looming, where you can't quite.
And to add to what she said, back home where I come from in Ghana, and maybe some of my colleagues from Africa will also identify with it, that things that we don't understand, that we can't label or put in a box, we mystify it and say that it is not for us. Therefore, we do not touch it, and we put it in a certain category, which belongs, like, let's say, the spiritual world or something, and so we leave it as it is. Don't touch it, don't label it, let it be. Yes.
But it is very true. I don't know in your work whether you encountered, there are different curatorial strategies, and whether to give labels or not, and how angry, for instance, when I worked as a curator or in art mediation, if I worked in an exhibition where there were no labels, or even no places or dates of birth for the artist, how angry that made people. And they really, but I need to know, I want to know. And we, on top of that beloved tradition of giving the information, we live in a time where even when we watch a movie or a series, we simultaneously research everything about it. We might research the end already. We might know the names of the people featuring in it. And even if we are in a museum without a label, we are able to even pick up our phone and do this research. So we can breathe. Oh, I know. I've got the title, I've got the place, I've got the name, I've got the year. And we can be at peace and put it away in our mind. And how the things that are not labeled and unlabeled and where it's sort of open, they are sort of they're stirring us in a way, or causing an unease because we can't place them in the archive of this brain. But how this movement of other irritation can, of course, then open up new pathways. And that this is just, and coming back to your remark, an exercise which doesn't allow yourself to get rid of the other stuff, like the histories, like what the artist really intended. If someone has an opinion, and maybe the speaker is also telling us, but yeah. But I think I will close now and read what we've received from Kunstgewerbemuseum, which we then translated. So please note, it's the texts and the information about the objects are in German. We translated them, and so there might be, even terms that you know better in English that are the specific terms for the object. Now we're talking about the hand, the fist. So the English translation is tumbler in the shape of an envious fig, Neidfeige. 18th century Kunstgewerbemuseum. Ivory carved, dimensions 12 centimeters height, width 6 centimeters, and 4 centimeters depth. The tumbler is made of ivory in the shape of a long leather glove, forming a fist with a thumb inserted between the index and middle fingers. This is known as an envious fist, Neidfeige, fig glove, or fika. I think someone mentioned that. Yes. The gesture served as a defensive sign against the evil eye, demons, and curses, for example. It is also used as an erotic or obscene symbol. And we're moving to the ball, to the sphere. Cooling ball with accompanying case. Kühlkugel is a German term. Around 1500, Kunstgewerbemuseum. Material technique, rock crystal. Setting, silver, case, leather, velvet. The dimensions are 7.2 and 4.5 centimeters. Germany, place of origin. Since ancient times, polished rock crystals, spheres, have been prized for their cooling effect. Several examples of such cooling spheres have survived from the late Middle Ages and early modern period, which were used both as a noble accessory and as a supposed medical remedy for fever and gout. So a cooling ball. And moving to the guy, as someone said in the middle, Siren Aquamanile from the treasury of St. Dionysos Abbey in Enger, Herford, which is coincidentally the place where my mother was born and was raised. Aquamanile, around 1230, Kunstgewerbemuseum. Material technique bronze. The dimensions are 34 times 25 times 10 centimeters. Geographical references, place of origin stylistic, Hildesheim, historical location until 1885, Herford, St. Johanneskirche. The casting vessel consists of a bird's body with a crowned female head. It rests on outstretched legs with powerful claws at the front and on a pair of downward curving wings at the back. The short spout sits on the crowned ring. The spout for the water is located in the crown of the hat. The corresponding hinged lid is no longer preserved. So there used to be a lid on top of the hat. The tail, which is bent forward to the back of the hat, serves as a handle for pouring water. The plumage, hair, and crown ring are decorated with engravings and hallmarks. The vessel is characterized by tightly proportioned lateral view, while it appears less balanced from the front. It has therefore been assumed that the composition is based on a drawing. Apart from this example, no other aquamanile in the shape of a siren, the mythological hybrid of woman and bird, is known. It has been suggested that its figure is a scholarly reference for the opening verses of Horace's Ars Poetica, in which a similar hybrid creature is described. That was very interesting, and the longest text we got. So we come to the arm jewelry, your favorite, the Rosso. Arm jewelry Rosso, Bengal, 2008. Material technique, silver, acrylic sponge, no natural material. I was also very surprised. No moss, nothing from the sea. It might not smell of much, I'm not sure. But it might smell of more, paint maybe, I'm not sure. Not anymore likely. Magnet, cardboard, dimensions, diameter is 8.6 centimeters. Deep red acrylic sponge is placed around a smooth silver ring, the opening of which encloses the sponge in a U shape. Anna Maria Zanella, born in 1966, shows her proximity to contemporary art in her constructive use of a wide variety of materials, such as iron, steel, acrylic paper, and aluminium, which she enlivens with color pigments and gold, so the only artist so far which has been named, or designer in that case. And then we come to the coconut cup, because it is a coconut cup, and someone wanted to know, I think, which material it is, coconut. And because the coconut cup we originally requested was replaced yesterday by another one, because it was in a different storage, it couldn't be accessed right now, I received a data blad which was very short. We have some details, but It's Coconut Cup, Silversmith's Eye, Basset or Basset, date 1671. Geographical reference says nothing there. Material technique, also nothing. The height is 28.5 centimeters, diameter 80 centimeters, and other information by the member of the team of Kunstgewerbemuseum who sent it. The decoration on the lid is called Schmeck. It is flowers. Carving of satyrs and nymphs can be seen if you look up close. Lid and base are also carved from coconut. There are small Bakantenfiguren on the handle. Down there. This is it. So by just reading this out, I would really like to thank you for this sort of collective exercise and conversation, which I know sometimes is the hardest to say, forget what you know, because you know so much in the field you work and in your own practice. But it has been a joy to do this together, and I learned a lot too, as I thought I might. So thank you so much for doing this, and also thank you to Kunstgewerbemuseum, and I'm so happy that you were here as well and stayed and we took part of it. Yeah.
And thank you to you, Celina, for hosting this exercise so beautifully. Thanks to everyone.